Okay, in this section we're going to go over triangles, and everybody here knows that a triangle has three sides and three angles. And if you know any three of those elements, you have the triangle solved by some very simple methods. And we're going to be going over those methods in this week. And triangles are basically the most important thing you're going to study as far as preliminaries for making a traverse work and making survey mathematics work for you. So this is something you have to do, have to master, and I don't think it's going to be very hard for you because we're going to set up a few simple rules and we're going to follow them. First rule is always label your triangle. And angles, just to make sure you're using the same system that everybody else is. Make your angles uppercase, make your sides lowercase, and whatever label you put on the angle, make sure the lowercase letter is on the opposite side, or else there will be weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth when you go to solve your triangles because they are not going to work. And beyond that, just know that all triangles have three sides. If it has three equal sides, it's an equilateral triangle. And you really don't get to solve anything on that because you have a side that's equal to the other two sides, and you have an angle that's equal to the other two angles. You have an isosceles triangle if two of the sides are equal, in which case the two opposite angles to those sides are equal. They're not as much fun as the regular oblique triangles, but they have their uses, particularly when you get into curve computation. Now, we have been studying in the past few weeks right triangles. And these triangles that we're going to be studying this week are not right. That doesn't mean that they're wrong. They're just oblique. They're misunderstood. And it's your job to understand them. And the first set of rules we're going to give you is called the law of sines. Law of sines, remember sine, cosine, and tangent of an angle? Well, you can't measure it exactly the same way as you do with a right triangle, but you can use the property of an angle, the sine, cosine, and tangent of that angle, to calculate other angles of the triangle or the length of other sides. The first rule that I'm going to teach you is sine, the law of sines. And that's the most basic and elegant law of triangle solution that you can get. The sine of angle A over side A equals the sine of angle B over side B equals the sine of angle C over side C. And this law works very well, particularly when you're solving for any one angle, because remember, you will always have 2 out of 3, or you will always have 3 out of the 6 elements of a triangle, or else you can't solve it. So anyway, if you have an angle and its opposite side, then you can solve the triangle within reason. The law of sines does not work quite so well if the angle that you are solving either for or with is greater than 90 degrees. And there's a reason for that. I'll probably bring in a hired gun to explain that, but it's fairly simple. Just take my word for it for now that the sine of angle A over A equals the sine of B over B. Sine of C equals that, the value. And just make sure that you're not trying to solve for a triangle in which you have, and you know that you have an angle greater than 90 degrees. The law of sines won't help you there. So I'm going to stop because we've gone far enough, and we're going to set up some problems and we're going to solve them using the law of sines.